Welcome. I'm Dr. Evelyn McDowell, President and founder of Sons and Daughters of the United States Middle Passage and the chairperson of the Board of Directors. Today, I want to tell you about something that we've been working on. It's really special, and we don't believe anyone has done anything quite like it. It's called Roots and Remembrance, the Middle Passage Journal. We are now calling for submissions for Volume 1, which will be published in January 2027. The submission deadline is September 2026, and I want to walk you through very carefully what this journal is, who can contribute, and how to do it. Before we go further, I want to share an important update for those of you who may have seen earlier in some announcements about this journal. We have extended both key dates. The submission deadline has moved from June 30th, 2026 to September 30th, 2026. And the publication deadline has been moved to January 2027. All other submission requirements remain exactly the same. The extension supply simply gives more people the opportunity to do this work carefully. And that's exactly how we want it done. For centuries, millions of Africans and their descendants lived, labored, loved, and endured in what became the United States of America. They built this country and they sustained it. They were brilliant, skilled, faithful, and resilient. And yet, when you go looking for them in historical records, so many appear as numbers, as entries in a probate inventory, as valuation in an estate ledger, as an unnamed woman aged 25 listed alongside pieces of furniture. In fact, I found my own second great-grandmother, Lucinda Bynum, listed as an 8-year-old on a probate record just above the hogs and the furniture. I will tell you, it was quite jarring to see a human being, let alone someone related to me, listed in such an inhumane manner. This is not acceptable, not to us. This journal exists for one reason: to restore what was withheld. By recording their names, we resist erasure. By citing the documents we find, we ground theory in evidence. And by linking individuals to one another, parent to child, spouse to spouse, we begin the slow work of restoring families that were deliberately broken apart. They were real people. This journal treats them that way. Volume 1 has a special focus that is deeply connected to our 2026 annual conference theme, America 500K, Before the Nation. On the eve of the American Revolution, more than 500,000 enslaved Africans and their descendants were living in the American colonies. 500,000 people before there were even a United States. And we're not even counting the people who had died and came before them. They were here. They were building and what will become this country. And most of them have never been named in any public memorial or archival record. For Volume 1, we especially encourage submission that documents individuals who lived in the colonial period from approximately 1619 through 1776. But I want to be clear, submissions documenting any period of American slavery from 1619 through ratification of the 13th Amendment in 1865 are absolutely welcome. Volume 1 is about saying, we see you. We are starting here. Now, let me tell you specifically what this journal is looking for. Our primary focus is documented biographical entries. These are somewhere between 250 to 800 words, and they could be about a specific individual or a small family group whose existence is grounded in a primary or otherwise verifiable historical source. These entries must be rooted in documentation. They distinguish what we know from what we believe. They use language that centers the dignity of the person being described, and they tell the truth about what the record does and does not contain. We will publish approximately 30 to 45 biographical entries in Volume 1, and we are accepting a limited number of remembrance and reflection pieces. This includes original poetry, artwork with an artist statement, essays about memorial sites and cemeteries, book reviews related to slavery, genealogy, or remembrance. Because space is limited, only a small number of those will be selected. But we want them. If we don't use them for this volume, we will use them for volumes coming up. So please send them. This is not only a scholarly record, it is a memorial. Who can submit to Roots and Remembrance? I want to be very clear about this because I know there are people watching right now who may have found something in a historical document and they don't know what to do with it. If you are a descendant tracing your own family lineage, you can contribute. If you are a genealogist who works with archival records, you can contribute. If you are a student or a scholar working with primary documents, absolutely you can contribute. And if you are a community researcher, someone who simply found a name, a family, a document, yes, you can contribute. You don't need to hold a degree. You don't need to be a professional. What you need is a historical record and the care to document it honestly. Documentation and respect are the standard, not credentials. Now, let's talk about what every biographical entry must include. The standard is simple. Enough information that another researcher can locate the same record you found. There are 5 elements. First, the document type. Was this a probate entry, a census record, a church register, a bill of sale, a court proceeding? Name what it is. Second, country and state. Where was this document created or recorded? Third, the year. When was it written? Fourth, the page or file reference. If one is available, a book number, a page number, a file number, if you have it included. If you don't, note that. And fifth, the archive or database name. Where can someone else go and find this record? Ancestry, Family Search, estate archives, a county courthouse, name it. Those 5 elements are minimum. That is the foundation every entry is built on. Let me show you what a biographical entry looks like in practice. This is a sample for a woman named Sarah. The entry reads, Sarah was a woman living in Hanover County, Virginia, in the early 19th century. She appears in the 1834 probate entry of Thomas Whitfield, where she was recorded as approximately 26 years old and listed alongside 3 children, Isaac, age 8, Mary, age 5, and an infant, unnamed. Though the document is brief, it confirms her existence at a specific place and time. What is documented is this. Sarah lived, endured, raised children within a system that denied her freedom. Her name appears in the historical record, and therefore her life is acknowledged here. Notice what this entry does. It says what is documented. It doesn't invent, it doesn't speculate, and it doesn't reduce Sarah to the cruelties of her circumstances. It centers her as a person. 300 to 500 words. That's all it takes to begin restoring a life. And because Isaac, Mary, and the unnamed infant are listed in the same document, each of them would receive their own separate entry. That's how we begin to rebuild a family. Now, what if there is no name in the record? Names are deliberately withheld from enslaved people in countless documents. That fact alone is part of the historical record. And the absence of a name does not diminish our obligation to document that a person existed. An entry for an unnamed individual might begin: a woman estimated to be 25 years old was listed in the 1832 estate inventory of Thomas Green in Charleston's district, South Carolina. Though her name was not recorded, she lived, labored, and likely sustained family bonds within this community. We accept entries for named individual. We accept entries for unnamed individuals, identified only by description, by age, gender, and location. And we accept entries for family clusters, groups of people appearing together in the same document. If a record shows someone existed, that someone deserves to be in this journal. I want to spend a few minutes on something that is new for a journal like this, and that is the use of artificial intelligence tools in the writing process. Let me be direct. AI tools may be used to assist with drafting biographical narratives and organizing your citations. We encourage thoughtful use of these tools. They can help people who have found documentation but struggle to organize it in a clear, dignified narrative. However, this is crucial. AI may never introduce unsupported facts. Every claim in your entry must trace back to a document you actually found. You may not submit AI-generated content without verifying it against your sources. You may not use AI to replace documentary research, and you may not present AI speculation as documented history. You may use You may use it to organize. You may use it to clarify your writing, but you, the contributor, may remain responsible for every word in that submission. The AI is a writing assistant, not a historian. Although AI can be used as deep dive research to help you, but you must verify that the information is correct. Here's the workflow we recommend for using AI to help with your biographical entry. It's 4 steps. Step 1, gather your documents. Before you open any AI tool, you need a historical record in your hand, a probate inventory, a census page, and a bill of sale, whatever you found. That document is the foundation of everything. Step 2, extract the key facts. Go through your document and write down every piece of information it contains about your individual. Name, age, location, year, any family members listed, the name of the enslaver as it appears in the record. Write it all down. Step 3, copy the journal recommended AI prompt, which I'll show you on the next slide, and paste your documented facts below it before you send it to the AI tool. And step 4, review and verify every sentence the AI produces. Read it carefully. Confirm that every claim matches what your document actually says. Remove anything the AI added that you didn't or couldn't verify. And only then submit your entry. Believe me, I have seen AI make up facts. Please be careful here. We want the record to be correct. This is the prompt we recommend contributors use. You can find it on our journal's website, and I'm going to read it to you now so you understand both what it says and why. The prompt begins, using only the documented records provided below. Draft 300 to 500 word biographical entry about, and here you fill in the name, or if there's no name, a description. The prompt then asks the AI to incorporate, where available, the individual's full name, including alternate spellings, date and place of birth, occupation or skilled labor if documented, the associated enslaver's full name as it appears in the record, the place of enslavement, names of a spouse and children, and any other family connections. Then comes the instructions. Do not invent facts. Do not speculate beyond the evidence. Clearly distinguish between what is documented and what is a broader historical content. Use person-first language, a man who was enslaved, not slave. Maintain a respectful and dignified tone. If information is missing, acknowledge the absence rather than filling in gaps. And then you paste your documentary evidence below that prompt before sending. This prompt is on the website. Copy it exactly. It is designed to keep the AI anchored to your documents and to protect the dignity of the people being documented. When you paste your documented information below the prompt, here is what to include, as much as your documents actually support. The full name, including any alternative spelling you found across different records, the date of birth if known, and if you only have an approximate year, say so, where circa 1808, for example, the place of enslavement, city, county, state, or colony, any skilled labor or occupation documented in the record, the associated enslaver's full name as it appears in the record, names and approximate ages of spouse, ages of children, parents, or other family members if they are listed in the same or related document. And finally, your documentary evidence list. That's the document type, the county, state, the year, the page or file if you have it, and the name of the archive or database where you found it. This list does not count towards your word count limit. And please hear this. Not all of these fields will be available. That is expected. That is the reality of researching enslaved people. Document what you have. Acknowledge honestly what you don't. Once the AI returns a draft to you, your work is not done. Your work actually is just beginning. Read every sentence. Ask yourself, does this match the document that I provided? If the answer is no, remove it, or clearly mark it as general historical context rather than documented fact. Check all names and dates carefully against your original records. Confirm spellings, confirm years. Make sure the language centers the humanity of the individual. The entry should say a woman who was enslaved, not a slave, not a slave woman. Read for tone. The subject of your entry is a full human being that must come through in every line. Add your documentary citation. Every claim needs a source. And finally, understand this. Even with AI assistance, you, the contributor, are responsible for everything in that submission. We will publish your name or your initials or a notation that you're a descendant, depending on your preference. But the accuracy of what you submit is yours to own. We trust that you would do this with care. Our ancestors deserved nothing less. All right, well, let's cover the details. The submission deadline is September 30th, 2026. The journal will publish on January 2027 as Volume 1 of Roots of Remembrance. When you submit, you choose how you want to be credited. You may choose your full name credit. Your name would appear alongside your entry. You may choose initials only. You may choose to be listed simply as submitted by a descendant with no name attached, or you may submit anonymously with no attribution at all. We will publish digitally with print-on-demand availability. An ISSN will be assigned. This is a permanent, citable, archival publication. Submission instructions and the complete call for submissions are on our website, sdusmp.org site. I want to close with this. When you submit an entry to Roots and Remembrance, you are doing more than contributing to a journal. You are preserving documented history. You are supporting the genealogical research of future descendants. You are contributing to a permanent archival record that will outlast all of us. And you are ensuring that the lives of these women, men, children are never erased nor reduced to abstraction. They were real. They had names, or their names were taken from them. They had families, or their families were torn apart. They had skills and faith and strength and hope. They are the reason we are here. The submission deadline is September 2026. All information is at sites.com address that you see there at the bottom of the screen. Please submit. Please share this with your family, your chapters, your genealogy group, your network. We have room for 30 to 45 biographical entries in Volume 1. Let's make sure every one of those represents someone who has been waiting far too long to be seen. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing your entry.